What's up everybody, Soul here with another sort of Convallaria video. Today we will be taking a look at two different bows to compare them and to see how they can do against each other. I recently was talked about on the Sword of Convallaria Discord server, and my video with my tier list, there was suggestion that the Meteor Line was misappropriately rated in comparison especially to the Longbow of Martyrs, and it was even said that it was cooked and would be cooked. And so I thought, well, best way to answer this is to just test it and show you guys so that you guys can understand where I was coming from. And so what I have done is I've used our boy Fake Out here to test this. He has alert, 2 strikes within a single turn, and then he also has AoE as well as strike back abilities. I have calculated all of them. I have used the battle right here. High cost for 610. As you can see, to test this, Coco is our tank. She did not provide any buffs outside of breakfast and bento, that happiness buff, and so that we could see all these skills utilized back to back. And in this I have used rapid fire for the 2 attacks within a single turn. They're single target active attacks. You have eye for an eye as a strike back, gale billow volley as your AoE, and then you have foot sniping as your single target attack, and then finally you have alert shot as our alert skill. With that said, let's take a look at the bows. I have a Longbow of the Martyrs. It is engraved with a wand at 14%, and then my longbow, I've only gotten 3 copies in all of my time playing and grinding, has a 6% physical attack boost, and then of course has that Longbow of the Martyrs debuff. And yeah, I've compared it to the Meteor Line, which I have a plethora of these. I have 5% physical attack off this. However, the physical attack on the sword resonance on this is going to give us 15% to offset that 1% and make it even. And then right here you can see in our trinket we're using just an armored gauntlet, and then right here for our tarot we're using Silence of the Hermit. That way they're completely on even footing. Most people would consider the Longbow of the Martyrs an absolute tier 0. However, it has been said that the Meteor Line is a low tier weapon that is not worth using. And I'm going to show you how it actually out damages, if not stands hand to hand or shoulder to shoulder, if you will, with the Longbow of the Martyrs. In fact, I would argue that if you're especially just starting out, Meteor Line is way better because Longbow of the Martyrs is very rare. You're only able to get 1 or 2 of these if you're lucky. And if you're incredibly lucky, you'll get it all the way up to 10% with that 5-star. And then yeah, I think it might out damage the Meteor Line in almost all settings. However, even right here on even footing, it is out damaged by Meteor Line. And then if you have it at a low rating, it's going to get out damaged by Meteor Line. Meteor Line is highly accessible, hence why I rated it tier 0, because it's easy to 5-star and then out damages the Longbow of the Martyrs even at 3 stars, which I do think is its break point. Without any further ado, let's take a look at the numbers and the test. So as you can see here in this battle, what I've done is I've started the turn with just Fake Out in the first set of tests without Coco shielding and guarding him, and then I backtrack and then hit it again and do different skills each round. Some rounds I didn't quite get the number in time when I was writing it down, so I got backtrack, just simply repeat it. But as you know, when you backtrack and you repeat the exact same action, you get the exact same outcome. Now as for our findings, I'm going to list it right here on the screen for you. Now as I said, I did halfway through this change and put Coco in because as you can see, Fake Out keeps dying and I kind of get tired of that and I want him to go further, and I want to test it further into the battle with multiple rounds taking place. Regardless of that, these are my findings. Consistently, Meteor Line out damages the Longbow of the Martyrs. There are some fluctuations, and there are some differences that are recorded, of course, with crit rates kind of affecting that too. Not in both weapons' favors. However, with multiple tests, and of course the last few string of tests, as you see on the screen being recorded, I consistently found Meteor Line out damaged Longbow of the Martyrs when they stood on par with the same physical attack bonus. Some people might say, well, how can that be? Well, Meteor Line gives a nice little debuff of physical defense 1, which is, as you can see, minus 20% to their physical defense. That's massive. Why wouldn't you want that on any bow? It can give it to them amongst other debuffs. And yeah, that's fantastic. But Soul, they're only level 1 debuffs. Well, yeah, who cares? You're keeping constant pressure on the opponent and keeping constant debuffs up. Some people even say, well, I'll just run Abyss if I want debuffs. I'm sure. Change your whole team slot out just so that you can circumvent a weapon that's able to do that for you on top of dealing damage. Make whatever argument you want. This bow still has value. Level 2 debuffs replace it? Yes. But in my experience, level 2 debuffs take precedent when applying new debuffs. Then thereafter, they overlap the level 1 debuffs when there are no new debuffs to apply. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that has been my experience and what I have seen thus far. So people might say, but Soul, Vacal gets bonus crit bonus based on debuffs. That's true. At 5 stars, my Vacal is 3 stars. He doesn't get that buff. In fact, at 5 stars, when he does get that buff, I'd argue that Meteor Line is even better in his hands. But regardless, he fits the role perfectly of testing this because he doesn't get that benefit yet. And he's got, as I said earlier, that rapid fire single target attack. It's his basic. It activates that Longbow of the Martyrs with the second hit. You get Eye for an Eye as a strike back. You got Gale Billows as his AoE. Foot Sniping as a single target bigger hit at 110% damage. And then you got Alert Shot. This is a perfect candidate to test these bows. And yet, I found Meteor Line consistently did massive damage. Let's not forget that it also has other utility. You're also reducing their magic defense. They're disabling them from healing and lowering their crit rate. That's massive. And their attack. Sorry, I can't forget that. And their attack. That's massive. The utility of this bow is phenomenal outside of just its ability to do damage. And why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that? Longbow of the Martyrs is also incredibly rare. And so while it is incredibly powerful, and I'm not going to discredit it for that reason, it's not easy to come by. Whereas Meteor Line is highly accessible. You can 5-star it easily with a young account. And so it has huge value for that reason. So all in all, I stand by my assessment. This is a tier 0 weapon, in my opinion. If you don't like it and you don't want to use it, then that's perfectly fine. That is your opinion, and it should be respected. The numbers have been tested, though. And the Meteor Line has been found wanted. It has been tested, it has been weighed, and it has been found wanted. The Meteor Line is a fantastic weapon. With all that all said, I digress. Huge shout out to my Patreon members. Thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate their input and helping me to assess these different topics. And if you'd like to join our Discord and to join our conversations on these matters, make sure you hit the link down below and follow it. We'd be more than happy to have you amongst us. And thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please drop me a like and a subscribe, and take it easy. Bye.